What if I were to suggest that you play a key role in the awakening world? And that you are watching this because you have heard the call. We can start right now by opening our hearts and minds. Welcome to the awakening world.
Hey, good evening, everybody. It is the Wednesday night edition of the Awakening World. And on Wednesday nights, that's when we usually are learning things. It's our more informational show. And I'm really excited because I'm going to learn a lot. We're going to learn from Craig and Tika all about how to energy balance our home, our office, our place of living, and maybe even more. They are both members of the TwinRay community, so I've been getting to know them. Craig lives in Ashland. In fact, I actually stayed in his home for a little bit. And Tika was visiting Ashland, so I got a chance to know her. So we're going to meet Craig and Tika in a moment, but because it's Wednesday night, we want to get things going. I see Eleanor Joy is in the room. Get on your dancing shoes, Eleanor Joy, because here is Omashar to get us off to a great start with a song.
This is true, and not necessarily a dancing song, more a imagine your hammock on a beach strung between two palm trees and a breeze blowing through your hairs on your head.
That sounds nice.
So anyway, here we go. Here we go. Here we go. To the place within where
Beautiful. Let's all twinkle Omashar. Thank you, everybody, for dancing and moving and grooving to the music. And thank you, Omashar, for getting us off to a wonderful, wonderful start. I appreciate that so much. Thank you. Well, it is my pleasure to introduce you to two new friends of mine. This is Tika Caldwell, and this is her professional partner, Craig Weeding, and they are part of Living Technology and Living Design Technology. And Deborah Juliette is also with us. She's going to be helping out and co-hosting a little bit. There you are, Tika. For a moment, I lost you there. Here we go. So I'm going to just start by asking, what is Living Design Technology? Please tell us a little bit about it.
Well, thank you for having us on the show. And I was so inspired listening to your opening song because it's exactly what Living Design Technology is all about. It's about caring for ourselves. It's about caring for the earth. It's about connection. It's about harmony. And in this group, I feel so comfortable saying it really is all about love.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and we can make it as scientific, we can make it as mystical, we can make it as spiritual and as technical as we want. But at the end of the day, everything is energy, everything is frequency, and everything is vibration. And Living Design Technology has been a gift to me. And I haven't been doing it, it has been doing me. And we can say in simple terms, it's a company that produces tools that hold all the resonant, coherent, natural frequencies of nature that when we put in our energy field or in connection or relationship to the technology around us or near water, bees, and trees, it amplifies that full spectrum of life-supporting frequencies. Does that answer your question in a short answer, Mr. Scott?
It's a great start. It's a great start. I'll bring Craig and Deborah on for a moment. So what are some of the practical applications? Deborah, I know this is in your home. So how do we apply it? Like, how's it work?
Okay, you're asking me. Yeah, actually, it's true. Good evening, everyone, first. Very happy to see all of your very beautiful faces. Craig and Tika is usually nice. Very happy to see you. And yes, it's actually true. We are here in the middle of my living room. And well, that's very easy. It looks like that. We are having here those beautiful designs that I'm sure our beloved Craig and Tika can talk more to us.
Ceramic harmonizers. Those are ceramic harmonizers. And at the end of the day, what we've done is we've created tools, and what Deborah has put around her home, strategically located, is a combination of ceramic harmonizers. She also has some ceramics with magnets attached.
Exactly.
She has some smaller magnets that are harmonized and infused with the Living Design frequency in and around her windows in different places. And she also has a series of cards and different tools strategically located around her room. And when I was there, Craig had originally gridded out Deborah's room and living room. And then I came back and we did another upgrade. And one of the things that I like to say is it's a layering effect. And Craig, you want to talk a little bit about the difference between spot harmonizing and the grid effect?
Yes. Hi, my name's Craig Weeding, and I had the pleasure of meeting Tika back in the beginning of 2018 and getting introduced to her tools. And I guess in summary, as Tika said, they hold the natural frequencies that are present in nature. And I've been blessed to always love nature throughout my life. I mean, my parents were very much into the outdoors. In fact, they met each other in the Colorado Mountain Club back in the 50s. So one of the things which I've always enjoyed is going camping. And part of the fun of going camping is you go out, you put your tent down and your sleeping bag and you sleep in the woods. And there's a completely different experience when you're sleeping in nature than you're sleeping in your own bed. You wake up refreshed and clear. And I never really understood what it was. I just accepted that it was a great blessing and a beautiful gift of Gaia, that there was this opportunity. And then the older I got, the more time I spent inside houses and buildings and working and doing everything. And the big aha moment that happened for me when I got introduced to this technology was that the frequency of nature is embedded in these tools. So by bringing these tools into a situation, office, a home, a car, it helps bring in that kind of feeling of nature. For what I experience is part of one of the big benefits of nature. And so as far as this differentiation between spot and grid harmonizing, spot harmonizing is when there's a specifically discordant source of man-made energy, typically, that may be present. It may be a computer, it may be a refrigerator. It's oftentimes, not always, but oftentimes electrically based. The electrical power that is created and we run all our electrical devices off of is not intrinsically coherent, it's incoherent. It doesn't have a full balanced spectrum of all the magnetic frequencies that are present in nature. So the living design technology, it brings in those frequencies. And the amazing thing about it is the way it brings it in is almost like a memory chip, and you bring it into the field, and it's really Gaia and nature that then is able to access those frequencies and do the work. It's not that the technology is hyperactive technology, but it's really a memory chip almost, where it provides it into the field of the localized space. So for instance, on my computer, I have some of the stickers on the computer to harmonize the computer. I also have one of the ceramic discs sitting on the computer. And then there's also another larger one that's by the computer, so that the kind of fatiguing energy I'd sometimes find by being on a Zoom call all day or something, it really shifts that whole energy. And I feel, in one way that we describe it, is the difference between life depleting and life supporting. And oftentimes man-made energies, whether they're electrical in particular, they can be a bit life depleting and they can be exhausting. You know, you can get run down by the end of the day being around all these high-tech devices. And then you go out for a walk in a beautiful park and you take your shoes off and connect with the grass, or you stick your feet in a stream and you kind of get recharged and reconnect with Gaia and tune into those natural frequencies that we all want to experience and feel. And the beauty of the living design technology I discovered is it really does, for my personal experience, hold those frequencies of nature. So I can use those both to spot harmonize something like my computer, and I can take a ceramic disc and I can put it under my computer and it'll generate a field which will harmonize that incoherent energy of the Wi-Fi, the electricity, all that stuff. And then I can also take the disc and I can put one in the corner of the room and create a grid. And in creating a grid, it will harmonize the whole environment of the room. But the beauty of the system is if I put one in each corner, which I have in my room, and then I also put one under my computer, they all kind of talk to each other. So it further extends the grid. So whenever you add a local harmonization to harmonize a specific source of incoherent energy, it adds to the grid. But you don't have to have a grid to harmonize a specific thing. And there's some newer technology that's come out recently, which is really amazing. And one of it is a silicon mat. And the silicon mat is infused with the technology. And so it can be, I'm sitting on one right now, and I find it very beneficial. And at one point recently, I had a foot injury, and the foot injury became infected, and I got some treatment for it. And then I was wrapping my foot in the silicone mat, and it felt better. And it was a very nice, non-invasive way. So you can both use the technology to specifically, like there's a kit here, which is specifically designed for smart meters. And it has a series of the ceramic disc and magnets, which can be applied to a smart meter and also to the main electrical panel in the house. And that's really a spot application. But then if you also place some disc around the house, it'll join in and helping create a grid. So it plays very well together.
Yeah, and let me speak to why it's important to amplify the harmony and the frequencies of nature. Basically, our man-made electromagnetic energy fields have the ability to do work. And the definition of energy can be defined our ability to do work, but it's also the ability to create an effect. Just like our thoughts, we can know what it feels like when we walk into a room right after we've had a wonderful gathering and a marvelous party, or you can know what you feel like maybe when you walk into a room and something terrible just happened. You can feel it. You can feel it in the air. And today, when I was at the forest, I really tuned in and I was looking at the glistening sun off of the water. I was listening to the sound of the water babbling across the rocks. I was looking at the moss on the edge. I was looking at the way that the pine cones were there and the cone was shaped and the way the branches go around on the tree. And if we really want to understand the geometry of nature and what brings coherence, it is a certain proportion with which all of nature comes together. And the geometry of nature, has often been related to the golden proportion. But why do we have this divine blueprint of the proportion of our finger to our hand to our elbow, and our arm to our body? And this extends all the way from the planets in relationship to each other and the entire galaxy. Well, this geometry of nature has a function, and it is to create a perfected distribution of electromagnetic energy charge. And if we think about it, everything is EMF. Our heartbeat is electromagnetic. Our thoughts, everything is putting off frequencies. And so when we have this technology that we are so grateful to have, because we wouldn't be communicating with each other now, this technology has the ability to do work. What's running the grid, what's running power plants, what's running satellites, we have so much technology, and it has the ability to do work. But what has not always been considered is the side effects. It is also the ability to create an effect. And so a lot of the technology that we use has the ability to do work, but at the same time, it is creating a stressful effect on the subtle energy electromagnetic fields of living systems. And this also is related to the Earth, because Mother Earth is a living system herself. And just like we have energy meridians in our body, so does the Earth. And people often think of, oh, I need to harmonize my Wi-Fi router and my refrigerator and my meter and all of that. But living design was originally created for the Earth. It was originally created to gift to Gaia, to transform the Earth energy grid lines, and to bring the sacred geometry, harmonic, symmetrical pattern structure back to the water molecule, which has become distorted because of a myriad of interference and pollution and all this kind of business. And so living design happened in 2007, and I'll just share this very quickly. Right after we moved to our little cabin in Brevard, I had an experience with pink and green and gold light. And I was told, I was started off in environmental studies. I did national outdoor mountaineering Knowles courses when I was 17 in the Wind River Mountain Range. As my son, Noah, who's an engineer, he said, Mom, you've always been like this. You just figured out how to make a living. But it wasn't really for me to make a living. It was help the earth to live. And then secondarily, the humans to help their consciousness awaken. But what happened to me in 2007 was I had an experience with pink and green and gold light, and I was told the divine intervention is here. There's so much dissonance in the field, it's difficult for people to connect and receive. And I was literally shown planting things in the ground, and I was told, we're harmonizing man-made electromagnetic energy fields and earth radiation to become ascension fuel. So this fundamentally is what living design is all about. It's to bring the coherent, full spectrum magnetic frequency information that is not only in the physical plane, but it is multidimensional, to where it's not, or to amplify where it is. And it's really like music. It's just, do we want to be a one-man band, a trio, a quartet, or an orchestra? It's not ego-based. It's nothing that I was so smart and invented. It was something that was given. It was helped to be refined. I worked with one of the top electrical engineers. I inherited some information from somebody who was working with universal energy and clay powder, and I had a background in environmental studies. But at the end of the day, it was really by the grace that this has come together, and the tools are stable. Our environment isn't, but the tools are. And so if you think about staking out a tent, if you're not spot harmonizing, like just wearing a pendant or putting it on your cell phone or a computer, you want to grid out where you are. And I started off doing a project in New Orleans after Katrina. My work came into doing large scale environmental humanitarian intervention in large projects after tragedy or disaster. I'm from New Orleans. After Katrina, we did some work harmonizing around the city. I worked with a philanthropist. 2 women and a shovel did a lot. And then when the BP oil spill happened, she said, what are you going to do about this? And I said, who do you think I am? And I went actually to the jungle and did some retreats in Peru, and was given a lot more information about how to work with the Gulf at the time, because the oil spill was spilling. And I had another philanthropist gift us $100,000, and we started gifting the Gulf. And then Fukushima hit, and we had $20,000 left, and we had to multiply like the loaves and the fishes. And then we ended up working with women in 16 countries all over the world. And the very first tools were very small cards, and they were called living prayer packets, because at the end of the day, it's not about control over, it's harmony with. How do we amplify harmony, and how do we speak the language of nature, and how do we bridge the technological world and the natural world? Because the heartbeat of Mother Nature is fairly subtle. And if you think about the output of, for example, a power plant, it's like a Mack truck. And if you know anything about music or harmonics, the weaker resonance will always go into resonance with the stronger resonance. And so this is simply the law of proportion, where we're increasing the resonance of nature proportionately to the dissonance, so that the resonance is increased so that nature can hear her own heartbeat, so that we can be more connected, more grounded, think our own thoughts, and access our higher self better. And yeah, Scott, I'm seeing you connect.
Yeah, I'm coming in because it's almost meditation time, but I'm loving what you're sharing. And I'm actually kind of frustrated because I've been with you guys. I feel so depleted after I'm on computer all day. I've been on computer all day long. And that's what I do. I then go for a walk with my dog. And I had no idea that I could get the devices that Craig was just talking about that would help. So it's kind of just one of those things where I'm grateful you're on my show, and it's taking that to learn about something that I need. So
Mission accomplished.
yeah, so I cannot wait to get that. So, we're more and more really bringing our global peace tribe together with the TwinRay community, because we're all kind of the same thing. We're all about awakening and coming into consciousness. And so many of you know now that we have been doing meditations every night at 6:30 p.m. and bring on Deborah. She's played a huge role in really making that happen and arranging. And so I want to welcome our TwinRay people that are beginning to come in on the TwinRay Zoom room. They're watching this now through our Facebook feed. And Deborah, would you like to introduce tonight's TwinRay meditation person, our beloved Nicholas?
Yay.
Hey everyone. Hey Scott.
Welcome. Welcome, Nicholas. Great to see you. Wonderful to see you in front of your favorite tool, your favorite gong. I'm happy. And seeing what's surrounding you. You're in the beautiful haven in Ashland, and you look awesome, like an angel. So yeah, what to say about our beloved Nicholas? He's just the yoga master ever, and he is peace and love and harmony embodied. There is no doubt about that. I have hardly met someone more in tuned and more in balance. He's just a natural. So please enjoy. There's nothing more to say. Just enjoy his incredible energy.
Thank you, Deborah. It's my honor to be seen. I remember the first time I met you all part of this community. The love was unforgettable and very recognizable. So I'm just here to hold that space and maybe all open our hearts together to create a beautiful, beautiful resonant field, bridging off of what I got to catch with beloved Tika sharing. We're currently have tons of it in our background, so a beautiful resonant field here. They've become my personal favorite meditation tools recently, actually. But all are tools to support us to learn how to use the most special, advanced tool and technology there is, this temple, this beautiful physical body we've been blessed with, and to create a resonant field and to come in harmony with our true nature, with the nature of the earth, and so on, all the layers into the cosmos and beyond. To create that symbiosis, seamless connection I believe we're all longing for. And the gift of meditation allows us to touch that, to feel that within. So, uniting with a deep breath, a sigh out. 2 more rounds. Deeply in. And all the way out. Emptying, softening. Once again. Coming into a natural breath. In a way, allow the breath to breathe you. Feel its tone, its texture. Notice the taste in the mouth. Take a swallow, bringing our attention, our focus, completely inward, imbued within. And we step away from the stimulation and locate the stillness, locate the silence within. Even if there may be thoughts and chatter and this and that, There is always a space of silence. Locate that, the observer, the witness. Make that connection within your heart and together as one. May we pray and create a sacred container, safe, secure, pure, and the intention to align with our greatest good, to return to our true nature, to feel that resonance, that connection. With each breath, may you deepen your intention, your presence into the heart. And to deepen the presence, beginning to bring a bit more focus into the breath now. In and out through the nose. Elongate the breath. Lengthen its rhythm just a bit. And feel a pause in the transition between the inhale to exhale. Feel that pause. And continue just like so. Soft in the face. A gentle focus of the eyes. Subtle in the shoulders, open in the heart. Feeling a spine connecting deep into the core of the earth. And also up through the crown, connecting into the divinity, the source, the great central sun. And uniting both in neutrality, calm and steady in the heart space, and discover and feel and journey in this heart space for a few moments within yourself. With each breath, breathing with all of your heart, fully invoking your presence here and now, open and receptive. Continue to locate the stillness, the silence, and feel the wisdom of the body. Create that resonant field connected to the heart center. And feel how special it is to be able to gather with community, family, to pray, to tune in, to be ourselves. In some way, though we're spread throughout the globe, we're all breathing the same air. Feel that interconnectedness between us, the heart space, the resonance in the field, within and throughout. Inviting in the grace of our beautiful beloved teacher, Shikinaman Sananaji, to work their magic. With the breath, continue to create space, space in the body, space in the mind. Continue to place your attention in the space, the transition between the inhale to exhale. Here and now fully, not grasping or reaching, just opening and receiving. meditation, we always show up as the student, as the beginner, in a space of wonder. Of great humility and splendor. Cherishing each breath, each sensation, listening closely, leaving behind the mind and what we think we know, and open to the magic of here and now. As we move into this new moon upcoming, opening up another wormhole, moving us into the eclipse season. Using this moment of stillness to call in, to invite in, to align your energies. With that which is most important and dear to your heart. Soft in the face, soft in the jaw, soft down the sides of the neck. Breath by breath, deepening into the stillness, the silence within, completely imbued. Listening closely. In this moment, you only know what you feel. As we begin to seal up this space, to ground in this meditation, bring your palms over your heart center and connect to what it is that makes you feel most alive. What it is that's alive in your heart in this moment. Be with that fully, sit with that, feel it. And as we move in to this new moon, wormhole eclipse season, may we pray to have the courage and the faith to see it through, to shine in our greatest light with all of our might by God's grace. May it be so. With a full breath in once more, and a sigh out to let it go. Uniting palms together in prayer mudra, and bring that prayer to the forehead, the space of the third eye, to invoke this prayer, this experience into your field fully. Feel your energy align, grounding in. And release the prayer mudra and bring the palms directly over the eye sockets. Press just a bit, bring this warmth into the eyes, coming into the body more and more. Slowly releasing the hands from the eyes, beginning to look into the hands, see the lines in the hands as they slowly glide away. Right, and that's that. Thank you all so much. Sending all my love. Hope you enjoyed.
So much. Beautiful, beautiful, Nicholas. And, we want to invite everybody to come to Ashland. And on Wednesday nights, Nicholas leads the meditation, and then he goes right into teaching yoga. And we're going to be extending and expanding the yoga schedule. But every Wednesday night is yoga with Nicholas, starting off with this beautiful meditation. Thank you.
Right. Thank you.
Thank you, beloved Nicholas.
Thank you so much, Nicholas. Thank you. As usual, that was awesome.
You're so welcome.
Thank you for making this happen.
I feel so inspired to share something after this beautiful meditation. Is that okay?
Yes, please.
Thank you so much for this collaboration, Nicholas. I feel so connected with you, as you know, in so many ways. And when you were saying to truly feel what you're feeling in this moment, my feeling was of deep gratitude. And it's a year anniversary, just about, for an amazing miracle that happened with TwinRay, with beloved Shekinah Ma and my beloved Richard, my husband. It's almost a year that Richard had gotten very sick, well, right after and sort of during the second retreat that we had done. And he sat with Shekinah Ma, and she gazed into his eyes, and I was there, and we were there, and he had an amazing healing of his soul that she shared, that it would take him 4 years to integrate. And he did end up in the hospital, but he defied the laws of gravity and Western medicine and age and everything. And he's just been in an amazing healing journey. And this amazing healing journey has, brought me to this moment right here with each one of you. And it's what I want to celebrate is a collaboration with beloved Shekinah Ma and Sanandaji, because Living Design has had the honor and the privilege to collaborate with TwinRay. And we have created a special line of products that can only be purchased at the Haven and at the TwinRay website, with the beloved Christic Shield. That is a tool that we learn as students working in the Christic energy system. And yeah, Craig is showing this. And given my journey with Mother Earth and the divine and prayers and wholeness and healing, meeting first beloved Craig many, many years ago, I was praying for help, for assistance. You know, how do we get this work out into the world? And Craig came along, and then it was because of Craig and another beloved friend, Rosemarie, that I was introduced to TwinRay. And then after meeting Sanandaji, beloved Sanandaji and Shakina Ma, and being very creative, combining the Christic Shield with the living design technology, they loved it. And so it took from Lionsgate of last year to Lionsgate of this year. I'm getting goosebumps just to tell you, to finally go and do a soft product launch at the Haven this past August. And just yesterday, we shipped out for the first time, because I brought them all, the very, very, very first tools with me in my suitcase, you know, for the launch that we just had, and put together, you know, miraculously. And now we have our first shipment getting ready to arrive on Friday at the Haven. And so there is something very special about this collaboration, and it really is all an answer to prayers. It's just that simple. There's no other way to say it. It's by the grace. It's by the grace that we're all here, and we're all contributing, and the love in our heart and our own individual prayers and gifts. And so it's really a great honor and a pleasure to be here to collaborate with each and every one of you.
Thank you very much. Thank you. And yeah, we're all coming together and providing tools, and each person on this call, including everybody in our audience,
Everybody.
has different gifts, and we're all sharing our gifts with each other. And one more time, I know yoga is calling, so thank you, Nicholas, for the gift of your meditation. And we are going to swing into the gift that Omashar provides us on every show, which is a little bit more music.
Yes. Deep breath. Are we breathing? Whatever happened to the ones that came before? Did they just vanish into the blue? Maybe they're living the dream we know to be true, and reaching their hands back out of the blue. Heart is so ready to embrace all that's new. I feel the love calling for me to break on through. With peace on my mind, I know that I'm coming to a new way of life that feels so true. There's nothing here to hold me back from you. The clouds of my life have flown away. My lightness of being lifts me every day. I find myself feeling not so blue. Heart is so ready to embrace love calling for me to break on through. With peace on my mind, I know that I'm coming to a new way of life that feels so true.
Thank you, beautiful beloved brother Omashar, and all of our dancers. And it's so wonderful for me to see how the TwinRay community and the Global Peace Tribe community are merging together.
It's totally awesome because like we're all in this symphony together. And Tika was saying at the beginning, do you want to be in a one-man band? And I thought, well, and here's our orchestra right here.
Exactly. It's really, really cool. And I want to remind everybody that all things Omashar can be found at omashar.com, his website. So definitely let's all support Omashar by buying his music. And it's easy, just go to Bandcamp. Definitely go to Bandcamp because they are the most generous at giving Omashar a few more pennies for his work. And he's got great albums. Every one of his songs, I think all of our regulars know him. He's just you're such a gift, Omashar. I love you very, very much. And I'm so grateful for your presence in my life and in our awakening world.
Mutual feeling. Thank you.
Yeah. All right. Well, I'm going to go back to our guests, Tika and Craig and Deborah. And I believe you guys have a PowerPoint that you can show to kind of help us understand a little bit more how all of this works. Is that accurate? Yeah. There you go. And Craig, you're muted. So.
Thank you, Scott. Yes. So I'll let Tika take the lead, and I'll create
Can
the
you
PowerPoint.
expand your, so it's full screen, Craig?
Yes, let's see.
There we go. Okay. Yes, harmonizing nature and technology with stabilized full spectrum coherent light. Well, we do know that in the beginning was the word, and then it was let there be light. But sound and light originate from the same frequency. And this is a beautiful photograph done by a friend, an old friend of mine. And it just felt like Mother Mary wrapping around the earth, and it was really of water. So let's go to the next slide.
Sorry, there we go.
So all life exists within this bioenergetic unified field that we're all aware of, and it's also a torus, and it shows us this here. But at our most elemental nature, we are not a chemical reaction like maybe sometimes we may think we could be, especially with the way that we've been raised, but we are an energetic charge. We are spirit in matter, which is an energetic charge. Next. So full spectrum coherent light is life. That is spirit in matter. It is our heartbeat. It is what turns an acorn into an oak tree and a sunflower seed into a sunflower. And as you can see in this photograph, these biophotons emitted by the human body can be released through mental intention, and it can modulate processes in our cell-to-cell communication in DNA. And as part of the TwinRay community, this is exactly what we're learning in biodivinity. It's exactly what we're learning in Christic energy systems, that consciousness can change matter. And so our intentions and our cell-to-cell communication can actually shift things at the DNA level. But it also means that full spectrum coherent light can do that in many forms. Next slide. So this stabilized full spectrum coherent light is commonly referred to as healthy life force, prana, or chi. But I love this slide. I was an art teacher besides getting into science, and all the different colors of the rainbow have always fascinated me. And of course, I love color mixing. But here, what you can see the red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo, and violet, which is our visible spectrum. But what you can also see is infrared, black, negative, green, white, and ultraviolet, which is the invisible spectrum. And this is common knowledge at a scientific level. And so when we talk about this full spectrum of coherent light, we're talking about the visible and the invisible frequency spectrum. And each one of these 12 colors, as you can see in the center dial, is broken up into 12 sub bands. And so when we're talking about a full spectrum of magnetic frequencies, we're talking about all these 144 frequencies, but we're also talking about it multidimensionally in 7 planes. Okay, Craig, next slide. And Dr. Valerie Hunt, I almost had the opportunity to meet her right before she passed. I wish I would have been able to do that, but she did some wonderful experimenting early on, and she noted that the signature field of a healthy human being is composed of balanced, coherent energy patterns across the full spectrum of frequencies. But she also noticed that the signature fields of humans who have or may soon develop, in other words, she's seeing it in the auric field, diseases are of 2 kinds. It's deficiency patterns or hyperactive patterns. And this is just a way to start to bridge the invisible and the invisible, the visible and the invisible realms with electronic tools and subtle energy tools. And she was one of the pioneers of this, and I just loved her work. So next. So an electromagnetic field can be, as Craig was saying, coherent or incoherent, or another way to say it, we can say it can be life supporting or life depleting. Remember, we said energy was the ability to do work, but it was also the ability to create an effect. So a stabilized, coherent, full spectrum electromagnetic field can remain life supporting even when exposed to incoherent energy, when there is enough stabilized resonant field around it. That is why some people who are saints or ascended masters we've known can drink arsenic or eat poison or, you know, be in very incoherent energy fields and be completely unaffected, because the frequency of their resonant field is much stronger than the environment around them. And this is what we're all learning to do. This is what we're all becoming. And it's really what it's all about. But this is important because matter will resonate with the strongest influence in the surrounding field. So even maybe what our consciousness is not connected to, but building materials, metal, water, you know, everything has consciousness, of course. But next slide. Oh, go back. Let me just make one more comment about this slide, Craig. Notice that as it's spinning to the right, this is really, in very, very simple terms, the way that these electromagnetic fields are propagating. It could be considered as coherent. And if it's spinning to the left, it can be considered incoherent. And that's an oversimplification of the way that all of these waveforms are moving through space, but that's sufficient to say now for some basic dowsing that you can have energy, but how it's moving affects the quality of it. It has the ability to do work, but is it life depleting and sucking life force while it's doing work? Or is it in harmony with nature and doing work and supporting life? Okay, next. So we did a little experiment here. We were working with the soil scientist, and he suggested that we take garden cress sprouts and try to sprout them on a Wi-Fi router. And my colleague and friend just moved into a new house over at Lotus Path Health and Wellness Clinic, where I have my office here in Brevard. And it just so happened that the Wi-Fi router was in a laundry room, and it was a long, skinny room, and there was only one window at the end. But all the other houses I knew were energy balanced. So this is what we had to work with. So you can see that the sprouts on this one, the upland cress seeds sprouted on the Wi-Fi router, they all were growing in one direction, which was towards the light, and they all could hold their own weight up. They were long and spindly, but they had a lot of life force. Next slide. These were the ones that were grown on the Wi-Fi router without the support of the living design technology. Same light conditions, same everything, but the real definition of incoherent, they were all going in different directions. They couldn't hold up their life, and you can see they have much less life force. Okay, next. Now, the growth of electronics, we know, had started off, well, with the first computers when they took up entire rooms and required humans and human intelligence to make them work. And now, good Lord, it's progressing in amazing ways. And studies have shown that the prevalent use of computers, smart devices, and other electronic devices are literally changing the way our brains are wired, and they are disrupting the natural cellular communication of the living systems. We have increased cellular communication with our technology, but it is forming a disturbance in the cellular communication of living systems. So what do? Let's see. Next. Additionally, physical substances, go back to that slide. Physical substances such as GMOs, glyphosates, chemical fertilizers, heavy metals, they're all collectively affecting our bioenergetic field of the water, the humans, nature, and the health of our planet. So we're not just talking about EMFs, because we are living in a unified field and everything is energy, everything is vibration, and everything is frequency, and it's either coherent and it's incoherent. So we can never really separate anything. And okay, next, that other slide we were looking at that popped up. Electrical power plants and electrical distribution systems also cause physical and vibrational stresses on living systems. And this is very interesting to note. It includes not only obvious things that we're aware of, cell phone towers, but solar panels. Even though energy efficiency, LED lighting, energy efficiency, electric cars, energy efficiency, it's energy efficient, but it is not energy coherent. I saw your eyes, Deborah. Did you? Yeah, just because it's energy efficient, it doesn't mean it's energy coherent. And so it's important to energy balance LED lights. It's important to energy balance solar panels. It's important not only to energy balance the Wi-Fi routers and the cell phones, but what we also think, like the electric cars, it's using less power, but it's still creating a quality of energy that is rotating counter to the way nature does. So in a sense, it's robbing Peter to pay Paul. So these things deplete vitality, can reduce immunity, particularly if your field is not Sanadaji or Shekinah Ma. You know, we're not making global statements, and this is not coming from fear, but it's coming from an opportunity that when we have all this energy around us, how can we bring more coherence to it so we're not having to use all of our own energy to maintain our immune system or our hydration or helping the signaling system of nature itself. So you're looking at physical substances, you're looking at different forces that are natural, and you're also looking at man-made electromagnetic forces. And these man-made or electromagnetic forces in the earth are called geopathic stress. So let's see what the next slide says.
I can so relate to that, Tika.
Yes, so geopathic stress is a term used to describe the variety of chaotic electromagnetic energies emanating from the earth. And some people say, well, isn't that natural? Yes, it's always been natural to some degree, but we have an unnatural escalation due to the influence of escalated technology that is to date, and I'm not saying it will be this way forever, but to date is very incoherent. And you can see this book, Geopathic Stress and Subtle Energy. It's all connected. It's a one unified field. So which one is the stronger resonance? And we as TwinRay community have been working very much to heal the grids, but this is yet another way that we can do it in addition to the other ways. And this is a cancerous growth on a tree as a result of geopathic stress. And I can spot them pretty easily now. You know, when you start looking for the signs, it gets easier to see. Next slide. So the bioenergetic field is the energy structure which all living systems build on to form living matter. It's the etheric field. It comes first, and then the matter coalesces. So without the integrity of a stabilized, natural, balanced bioenergetic field, etheric field, subtle energy field, there is a lack of coherence and natural distribution of electromagnetic energy charge. And that can what can contribute to deformities in patterns of nature, because it's happening in the energy field first, and then it physicalizes. Next. So traditional science measures the chemical, physical, and biological aspects of our environment. Bioenergetic methods measure and harmonize the bioenergetic quality of the environment. And this is, again, why the TwinRay community is just so, you know, like a kid in a candy shop for me, because it's been my language of how to educate people about the value and the necessity to have a coherent bioenergetic field. Okay, go on. So harmonizing the bioenergetic field revitalizes and supports the web of life. Next. Living water versus polluted water. This is something I think we all know, but scientific research reveals that water is a liquid programmable crystal with memory. Therefore, pristine or energy balanced water is living water, and it has a healthy electromagnetic energy charge. And water takes on the characteristics of what we expose it to. Therefore, it's not necessarily stable. So water with toxic memory is void of life force. Even, this is important, even if it has been chemically cleaned, the water can still be dead. And we can look at these two slides from Emoto, the words of love and encouragement. Remember, we were talking about how our intentions can transform matter. This is a perfect example. In words of hate and anger and criticism, this is just physicalized examples of what we're talking about. Okay, thanks, Craig. So a new science for earth healing was something that I participated in many years ago, started off in 2000, but in 2008, I took a class with Dr. Robert Gilbert, who is a former US Marine Corps instructor in nuclear biological chemical defense. And he was working with Dr. Ibrahim Karim since the late 1990s, both of whom were one of my early teachers. And Dr. Gilbert teaches biogeometry as a founder of the Vesica Institute in Asheville, North Carolina. And it was Richard, my husband, who actually introduced me to Dr. Karim in 2000. I met Richard and biogeometry all in one fell swoop, and we never ran out of things to talk about, is really how it went. So I participated in this creating a new science for earth healing, and we did a research project that we presented at this class. It was a Harmonizing Asheville research project. And that's really where I learned how to do large scale environmental projects. Next. So energy balancing water with biogeometry principles. And we learned with work that Dr. Ibrahim Karim did with standard water and with what he calls BG3. And that is a term, and Dr. Karim is a founder of biogeometry and combines the ancient Egyptian scientific technology and scientific vibrational radiesthesia developed by an engineer, Louis Turin, in the 1930s prior to World War II. And so Ibrahim inherited all the science of microvibrational radiesthesia from Louis Turin. And in essence, this body of knowledge was the foundation of what living design technology was built on, because it wasn't my testing and measuring systems. It's already been well developed in the field. And fundamentally, microvibrational radiesthesia and biogeometry measure the waves of the colors of light with the aid of a pendulum and a ruler. It's scientific dowsing. Next. So Dr. Karim wrote a book called Energy Balancing with Back to Future for Mankind. And it's using subtle energy to create harmony in the environment. And Richard met Dr. Karim in 2000, actually before I met Richard. And Dr. Karim told Richard that Richard was the only architect he ever met who was already doing biogeometry in his architecture. And so truly, this work brought Richard and I together in our life work in Soul Contract. And recently I ended up writing a manual that is about bioenergetic architecture and living design systems application. But this work of Dr. Karim bridges the gap between ancient wisdom, science, spirituality, and modern technology in a way that to date no one else has ever done for me, because he really focuses on the fact that because of the law of resonance, and with the increase of the man-made electromagnetic grid, it's not one cell phone tower, it's not one Wi-Fi router, it's not one heartbeat, it's one beat of the planet. And unless this balance is made where the natural heartbeat is stronger than the unnatural, it could be lights out in a second. And, you know, I was worried about and in environmental studies from a very early age. So when I came into meeting Richard and this work in 2000, it shared so much information that I was looking for that I did not find in environmental studies at Alfred University, where I went. And so we did learn how to create power spots, harmonizing electrostress in earth, air, and water, working with this full and balanced spectrum of all magnetic frequencies common to living systems that Dr. Karim coined BG3. And I have a tremendous amount of respect for this body of work. And Dr. Karim also invented biosignatures, which is something that was purely his own, which is another healing modality for physical systems, for physical bodies, which is wonderful. Next slide. So nature's secret force of growth in the soul. This is another phenomenon, paramagnetism. It's a physical force, not a hard to grasp spiritual essence, but a force. This low level energy is found in good soils, not in poor soils. And Phil Callahan, who was actually in LSU in Baton Rouge, I'm from New Orleans, Louisiana, said that he believed that this work is important and it can save agriculture worldwide. And this page was my favorite page in the book. And it said that all apparition sites, especially I've identified with the ones of Mother Mary, but as well as Indian or healing sites, are highly paramagnetic. And so, you know, my job in here has been to try to weave traditional science and spiritual science into a vocabulary that we can bridge the world so that people can begin to understand this, what is life force? Okay, next. So the living design environmental energy balancing creates a coherent, stabilized, full spectrum frequency foundation, keyword, foundation, with the bioenergetic field of the earth, air, and water. It's a stable foundation. So it's providing, if any missing links, if you've heard a chain is as strong as the weakest link, you can have a really great chain. But if you're rock climbing and you have one weak link, you could have a problem. So this is why we're here, to bring this frequency foundation back to nature, where there's been so much interruption, to support the earth, to self-balance and harmonize the life-depleting radiation, nuclear radiation, as well as physical, biological, and chemical stresses that occur in the environment that may even be energetic in terms of consciousness and thought form as well, maybe not just physical matter. Next. Harmonizing nature and technology. So here we have generated electromagnetic energy. It's just like the sun. It has good effects and bad effects. And in nature, the negative effects of the sun are counteracted by the multiple layers of our atmosphere, the geometry of nature, photosynthesis, and the elemental combinations of life-supporting electromagnetic frequencies of our planet. So our goal is to mimic what nature's already doing, to transform ionized generated electromagnetic energy fields to become stabilized and balanced energy fields that support life with no ill effects. And we do this by placing things around our home that hold these frequencies, multidimensional frequencies that provide the same function as the geometry of nature. Next. So common solutions that a lot of people already know of. Oh, I can reduce, I can unplug my Wi-Fi router, I can avoid, I can use a Faraday cage, or I can unplug and go to the forest, or I can block and maybe use a Faraday cage, or I can deflect, or we can absorb things with cork and all different kinds of other things, or we can filter, we can have Stetzer filters, and all of these things are wonderful. They are very beneficial. However, they are only for the human being. What is happening to the web of life? In my world, because if we're here for Gaia first, these are beneficial but not sufficient to harmonize the subtle energy fields of living systems. So we can add transformative technology to reducing, avoiding, blocking, deflecting, absorbing, and filtering, and work together. Next slide. So examples of subtle energy testing instruments for electromagnetic energy fields are what they use at SciTech Lab, who tested our tools: gas discharge visualization cameras, commonly known as GDV cameras. Horst, who started Aveda, he made GDV cameras famous 20, 30 years ago, showing how watermelon tourmaline could affect your aura. Watermelon tourmaline shampoo would affect your aura different than chemical shampoos. And we also have a Zyto scanning machine and other frequency devices that are now able to pick up geopathic stress, which is really cool that the Zyto can do that, and electro stress in human energy fields. Okay, next. So subtle energy detection methods, well, everything we're learning in TwinRay, biodivinity, all with our dowsing, KS, geodivinity. Now you know why I love TwinRay so much. So we have also the scientific microvibrational radiesthesia, which was that body of knowledge, and bioenergetic kinesiology that's used for neurological integrative systems, holographic health, all kinds of naturopaths use bioenergetic kinesiology, and then traditional dowsing of all different kinds. It was fun. Once I was asked to douse to find where the water pipes were in a lot in Asheville, the sewer lines. And I did, it was fun. I didn't know I could do that, but dowsing works. So methods used to successfully detect these subtle energies, not only pipes, actually really work and can assist with applying corrections as well. Next slide. So this is how we figure out what to do with the living design environment. We douse to see what needs to go where, and we have charts that we test, what's coherent and what's incoherent. We actually work with 32 sources of toxicity in 7 planes. But at the end of the day, we strategically place harmonizers in the earth, around trees and water, buildings and land. We strategically place harmonizers by main electric sources and water lines. And we also, on a more refined level, treat doorways and windows. And it's very much done in the spirit of Ho'oponopono. We are really not coming here fixing necessarily something that's broken, but we're giving thanks. And we're just offering our love. And it's not the technology that's doing the work. The technology is holding these frequency codes, and it is the divine intelligence of nature that does the work. And it's always with an attitude of gratitude. Next. So here we are. We're going to whip through these pretty quick, placing them on a breaker box. Air conditioner and heating, plumbing and water lines. Next. Wired and wireless. These are old. We had stickers in the early days. Now we have these really cool magnets with ceramics, and we still have cards, but this gives you the idea. You apply it to the thing. Next. So integrating nature's design language with generated electromagnetic energy fields, it can synchronize them. So balancing the two creates one coherent, stable foundation for living systems. Harmonizing this unified energy field produces a positive effect on living systems, and this is key. We found it in our research. That is greater than the sum of the individual parts. And the end result is a harmonized, unified energy field that supports the web of life, strengthens the grid of golden light, and assists spirit anchoring within matter. Next. So some of the reported benefits: better sleep, increased ability to focus, improved emotional and physical flexibility, improved physical balance, and real physical balance. We notice that a lot. And grounding, reduction of environmental stress, more vitality and well-being, greater ability to experience heart, brain coherence, and I will say in one word, grace. You know, it won't keep you from your karma, but it will provide a whole lot more grace to work through it with divine intervention. That's my personal experience. Okay, next. So layering stabilized environmental energy balancing practices in ecosystems, near electrical equipment, inside buildings, and urban environments allows us to increase coherence and increase vitality. And as I said before, this was originally developed for the earth. It wasn't for humans, and it really wasn't a business plan. That's why I'm so happy to be collaborating with TwinRay. Next. Stabilized environmental energy balancing transforms the way people work with one another and nature, and by choosing to co-create in harmony with nature, we increase coherence multidimensionally to accelerate the positive evolutionary change taking place on our planet right now. And when organizations, businesses, and individuals join in this global imperative, we together can accomplish more than we can do individually. Next. So here we'll just run through a few quick slides to show you some of the science behind it. But we started off in 2014 with working with the Agape Center of New Orleans doing third-party research. Okay, next slide, Craig. So we took a look at Tara. We had a nurse who was a holistic nurse, and my mentor, Dr. Shirley Salas Clarkson, was one of the founding members of the Holistic Nursing Association. So she knew someone with a good old-fashioned Kirlian photography camera. This picture was Tara's baseline. It was Fujifilm. Next slide. A was her baseline. B was when she was holding a cell phone. We had no idea what was going to happen. We were at a women's clinic in Abita Springs, Louisiana, and it was all blind. And then C was with the very first Living Prayer packet. It wasn't even called Living Design Technology then. This is what happened with Tara with the card holding her cell phone. Next slide. The next one, B, she was holding a dehydrated, geopathically stressed house plant. And when we put the card in the plant, she started sharing the energy field with the plant, and we could see how it improved her field as well. Next. And then untreated tap water. This was straight out of the pipe. And Abita Springs was well known for having fabulous water, but it was going through pipes, and pipes are generally coming in right where the electrical system is coming in, and waters are programmable crystals, so that electricity is programming the water coming through the pipes. But when we put the card on the cup of the glass of water, this is what it showed. Next. Then we decided to get Dr. Michael Scroggins, who is a senior electrical engineer for global projects, who was working with the Agape Center team, to invent a double-blind Kirlian photography test. And it was independently designed, and it was brilliant. And we were so happy to have his assistance. And each one of these people had cards in their right hand and their left hand. And we went through image after image after image. Next slide. And let's see. So the double blind test said that it was five people and 15 photographs each confirmed the original test results of the Tara experiment. What's the next slide? Oh, go back. We skipped one. all those slides, all those photographs. It was just a ton of photographs, and they were so subtle. Each time the living design card was held in each person's hand, the change in the individual's aura was observed by Dr. Scroggins. It was too sophisticated almost for me to pick it up on first glance. And the change with the individual's aura was not visible each time the placebo card was held at all, every single time. And the Agape Center's research team concluded that this double-blind test confirmed the results of the initial Kirlian photography experiment that we did blind in Abita Springs. Okay, next. Those were some of all the photographs. So in 2016, we went to SciTech Lab, to Dr. Gaetan Chevalier. We love Gaetan, and SciTech Lab is one of the best labs in the world for subtle energy testing. And he used his GDV camera, and you can see his credentials. I'll let you read them. But anyway, we were blessed to have great Gaetan on our team. And let's show the results, Craig. So one of the results that we had was a person, and we noticed that his throat chakra was out of balance. However, the vitality level of the throat chakra was 0.50. When the cell phone came into this person's energy field, the body said, more energy, let me let it do work. Let's create more symmetry. Let me bring that throat chakra back into alignment. But it's a perfect example of what we were talking about, robbing Peter to pay Paul, because the life force of that throat chakra went down to minus 0.24. When we energy balanced that cell phone, it went up to 0.53, better than the baseline, and it completely lined up. Next. So we started off at 0.50, we dropped down to minus 0.25, and then we went up better to 0.53, which means that energy from that cell phone was able to be used to support life and do work. So I will take the time. This was an experiment we did in 2016. What we didn't know was there was other research and other results that were better than this that we were not legally able to share. But SciTech Lab, without us knowing, for 5 years tested our work. And in April 21st, 2021, we got a call from them. And what's the next slide? Oh, I don't know if we're going to show it again. Is that the end? Is that the end? Yeah, that must be the end. Oh, no. Okay, we have some more. But what I'll say about SciTech Lab is they had privately tested our tools for 5 years. And every single time they were testing our tools, they said that the human biofield was restored to at least as good as it was, if not better, over a 5-year period. And they said that we could come out with a public statement, and they congratulated us for our work. So we were very grateful for that endorsement. Okay, next slide. Next. Okay, some quick stuff. Both organic soil, both from Reams Creek Nursery in Asheville. This box on the right, my son Nick actually put the harmonizers on the right. He got distracted, planted the tools, didn't put them on the left, and lo and behold, this is what happened. Some with the harmonizer, some without. Same soil, same seed starts and all. Next. And I did an experiment. It was a blind experiment. I didn't tell Richard, I didn't tell Craig, I didn't tell my assistants or anybody. But what I did was I took our Living Design clay powder, or our clay powder, infused it with Living Design technology frequencies, and put the powder in some of the kale in my garden, one dose. And our soil scientists told us to pull up the roots and measure the length of the tip of the root to the top of the leaf and the width of the leaf. And we had biochar in the ground, all organic soil supplements, but that clay powder really gave it a bio boost. Next. And that would be it. So here we are, creating a stable, full spectrum harmonic frequency foundation to complement all the other wonderful things everybody else is doing, including TwinRay and Dr. Kareem and all the other colleagues and wonderful people that I work with who have so many wonderful tools.
Tina, it's a wonderful presentation, and I just can't believe that I haven't been using this for my cell phone or for my computer. Deborah, why didn't you tell me? So anyway,
We have it on all our devices, my love. I mean, there was just no time. But you were always making your show from here, and this room is full of it. Just
well,
yeah.
I definitely look forward to getting it. So Tina, Tika, tell us, how do we now get these devices from you?
Okay, I would love and am so happy to tell you that you can get the special TwinRay tools from treasures.twinray.com. And you're going to have to go to Sacred Jewelry on the website, because we are still in the early stages of promoting our collaborative tools, but we do know they're there. I checked them out today. And, you know, and if you have any questions, you can email harmonize, what is it? Well, info@havenashland.com or TwinRay Harmonizing, twinrayharmonizing@gmail.com, or you can call the Haven. Yes.
So, okay, I'm in the shop, and what section would we
Go
find?
to Sacred Jewelry.
To Bio Jewelry? Sacred Jewelry, got it. Okay. And by the way, you know, it's funny, just now I got a text message from Shakina Ma, literally 5 seconds ago.
Oh, beautiful. What does she say?
She's very happy that you're on the show. I sent her a couple of screenshots.
Oh, great. Well, I'm very
So-
happy that you're in my life.
Okay, so how do we find it? We're
Scroll
in,
down, scroll all the way down, scroll. Aha,
There.
there. Okay,
All right.
there are some pictures of the tools. Okay, and scroll down, scroll back up.
there we go. TwinRay harmonizers for home personal well-being. And it shows,
yeah, and there's pendants and all the different pictures of all the different tools. And you can see, go down. Yes. Well, so that's where it was. So that's where you find it. And if you call the Haven, they'll tell you exactly where to go and what to do, or you can email TwinRay harmonizing, TwinRay harmonizing @gmail.com.
okay, I'm putting this in the chat box for everybody. Well, thank you very much, Tika. And we'll open up for a moment, see if anybody has questions.
And I think there's a special promotion that they're offering for the Global Peace Tribe tonight.
Oh, yes. Thank you, Craig. 10% discount with a code. What's the code, Craig? Do you know?
It's there in the on the website. I believe they shared with us. So definitely, if you want to try it, there is a special promotion for all the viewers of tonight's show.
So where I just was has the promotion in there?
Yes.
Okay, great.
And you can always ask for Irene if you call the Haven.
All right, and Irene's a sweetheart.
Yeah.
Well, gosh, I'll bring up Deborah for any final thoughts. Anything you want to share, Deborah?
Yeah, I mean, I was listening very carefully to what our beloved Tika said, and thank you so much for all these wonderful explanations. Thank you, Craig, for being so patient and getting and fulfilling the orders of Tika so patiently and gracefully. And the only thing I can now much better understand why, my mom is a math professor at the Sorbonne in France, and I always loved math and physics very much. And the minute you were explaining, and I mean, you got my eyes, all these energies, I was like, okay, now I understand why I have not only those ceramic field in each and every corner, on each and every window, 3, but also in every plug, on every, on all of my bulbs, and just literally, I mean, of course, the Wi-Fi, that just Craig went heavenly bazooka. And of course, I mean, everyone who goes through this room feels like huge difference. I mean, I remember the first time Craig introduced me to your beautiful tools. And I mean, I'm a heavy meditator since 15 years. So, I mean, I know what it does inside of us. And then he was just beautifully at a dinner getting this, I remember, I'll never forget this beautiful plastic sheet and said, like, just stand up. He put it on my chair and I sat down and I was like, whoa, all my chakras were aligned. It's like, what? A piece of plastic can do that? And sure enough, he changed the entire house. I mean, it was just wow. Beautiful. Wow. And now I get a much better picture of it. And yeah, it's
let me just
I can only
one quick second what you're speaking to. It's that grid system, and you can have a tight weave or you can have a loose weave, because when we're coupling the tools with all the electrical grids, but also the natural light coming through the window and the geopathic energies with which our building is on, the tighter the weave, just like that water molecule with that lattice lace-like pristine tight geometry, you make it tighter and tighter and tighter and tighter. And so it's just more layery.
No, I mean, since yesterday, look at this beautiful, I don't know, can you see that Venice crystal water bottle that's standing here? This is a sacred water bottle, and that we just put last night in the middle of the room. And because of all these devices, everything is amplifying each other, and totally makes sense. Of course, it totally makes sense. You have this vibrational field, this toroidal field, plus in every corner, having these tools in every window is just magnifies and magnifies. Everything is magnifying each other here right now. Yesterday we were just blown away last night, the 3 of us. And yeah, and I also feel we have some more, like Wendy could we maybe put Wendy on, if you would like to share, because I know, Wendy, you have a lot of these beautiful tools in your home as well.
Hi, I do. I was chatting about it a bit. Yeah, Tika and I bought a new house in Ashland, and we started chatting and working, and Craig started installing, and I'm pretty energy sensitive, and every single product we put in, I could sense the before and after. Has been quite the remarkable journey, whether it's gridding or spot, or Craig adding it like yours, Deborah, on every light and every light switch. And you can get so specific. And then what was really fun is that I was landscaping from scratch a half an acre in my back property. And we got creative. I got the powder, the living design clay went underneath the entire concrete patios that were laid. I had ceramic discs under each new tree, and they are thriving. I used the clay for the new lawn going in. We did the whole property. And it ended up that one of my neighbors had a cell tower that was disguised that I didn't recognize when I moved in. And we worked, and Tika was very creative about creating some technology that would defer that energy, diffuse it on my property. And Craig just has an amazing ability to come up with combinations, like some of the magnets
Yeah.
that and things like that. And it just, because I can feel it when I tune in and get quiet, I've appreciated every single installation. And it's like what you were saying, Tika, about you just build it more and more, the web, tighter and tighter. So whether you do, and I wear this, I have it. Oh, I also really recommend doing it for your car. Tika has out of her company, a car kit.
And TwinRay has one too.
Do they? Good.
Yes. We're
Okay,
going
that
full Monty with TwinRay.
Yeah. So I,
thank you.
but that's enough. That's enough. And I
Thank
know
you,
yeah.
beloved Wendy. Did you tell me when I saw you, was there some trees that didn't get the powder?
Yes. I planted about 10 new trees. And then the next round, we added 5 new trees, and the landscapers were going very fast. They didn't get the ceramic harmonizer, and they didn't get any of the clay by the root. And they all have struggled more. It was quite remarkable to see the difference. Yeah. So, yeah.
I'm sorry for the trees, but thank you for sharing. It's a nice.
I need to come in because we are already 17 minutes over time, and we have one more Omashar song. Wendy, thank you for jumping in and sharing your beautiful testimonial. Tika, thank you so much. You and Craig for coming on. Thank you, Deborah, for sharing all of your information. I cannot wait to get some of these products for myself, for my phone, for my computer, for my car. And thank you, everybody, for being with us. And a reminder that on Saturday night's show, we've got an amazing show happening. We're going to be collaborating with all of our friends from World Unity Week. It's Peace Week starting on Saturday, and we are launching it. Peace Week begins with the Awakening World. So we've got an amazing group of people joining us and a lot of great music. Of course, Omashar will be with us, but we also have Gary Malkin, we have Kristen Hoffman, and we have Tatiana Speed. So we'd have 4 remarkable musical artists all playing music and also all sharing about what Peace Week means to them. And then, we now conclude every Saturday night show with a KES group healing, and our dear Maggie Rose LaCosta will be our KES healer on Saturday night. So please do join us for the Awakening World on Saturday night. And to conclude our show, as always, I'm going to turn it over to beautiful, beloved brother Omashar.
So that would be me, and Tika and Craig and Deborah, thank you so much. It's such timely information. I was already aware of the shape of things. However, to be given an education about it has really, really helped. I spent over a decade in Hawaii, in a place where there's no EMFs, and I got so used to being psychically, if there's a better word than that, free. And I'm now in a place close to Boulder in Colorado where I'm being assaulted 24/7 by thousands of cell phone towers, hundreds of thousands of Wi-Fi routers, and I feel it. And so when I sit to meditate, it takes me quite a lot longer to get into that silent central space. And so this education has really spurred me on. We've got a Faraday cage on our smart meter and a couple of things like that, but I want to plaster my room with clay now. Anyway, without further ado, thank you so much. Really super duper appreciated. Let's dance. I'll move slowly. takes you by the hand, and you hear in a whisper of something to show you. Each day a new creation, a golden path before us. Our angel wings they open and soar us to new heights of understanding. In the one voice, the spirit of our land, blowing me, blowing you, home to forever. And I perceive, not so far away, a world that breathes as one. So we live for today and no more tomorrow. Each day a new creation, a golden path before us. Our angel wings they open and soar us to new heights of understanding. Each day a new creation, a golden path before us. Our angel wings they open and soar us to new heights of understanding. So la la bit, come on. La 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 la. Electromagnetic frequencies.
Oh, beautiful. Thank you so much, Omashar. Thank you. Thank you again, Tika and Craig and Deborah and and everybody watching on Facebook, because that's the majority of the people, or the people watching our recordings. We love you all very, very much. Thank you so much for being with us. Hope to see you on Saturday night. Have a great few days, and let's get those products. Let's come into harmony together. I'm excited about that. Really excited about it. Take care, everybody. Good night.
Thank you. Blessed be.